I'm Vicki Hogarth, and welcome to Southwest Magazine. In 2019, Sid Kernighan of St. George was diagnosed with ALS. Here to tell us about his journey is Sid and his wife, Karen. Thank you both for sitting down with us today. It means a lot.
Thank you for having us.
Karen, let's start by talking about when Sid got his diagnosis. What was that experience like?
Do you want to know the dates, is that what you're looking for?
And everything you heard, what you knew about ALS before, and what you were told.
Okay. Well, in 2018, we were having a graduation party for our granddaughter, Abby, and one of the ladies that was there noticed Sid was limping, which we were aware of, but we just thought that he had pulled a muscle in his leg. So in August, it was getting worse, so we started going to the doctor, and they said that he maybe had pulled a muscle or that he had arthritis, and they sent him to have physio. And I just knew that it just wasn't arthritis for sure. And so that went on for almost a year, and he started to lose his balance. And so he worked his shift, and on a Wednesday we went to St. John in the morning. We went for 5:30 in the morning so that we could be there before they did a shift change and that he would get in earlier, we thought. So we went to St. John on August the 7th, and they took him in and they ran all kinds of tests, and they told him that he didn't have cancer or anything, but they just couldn't figure out what was going on. So this nurse, she's just a little nurse, but a lovely girl, she said to Sidney, she said, I'm going to take you for a walk. So she got on one side of him, I got on the other side of him, and we started down the hall. And he said to her, he said, I really have to think about lifting my feet. That's all she needed to hear. She whizzed him around, put him back on the bed. Maybe 5 minutes later, the doctor come back in and said, Sid, we can't find anything, but we're going to send you to a neurologist, Dr. Karakos. And I thought, why are we going to a neurologist? He pulled a muscle in his leg, we could fix this. He said, I'll have you in within 2 weeks to see the neurologist. So we went in and seen the neurologist on August 22nd, we went. And they did an EMG, it's called. And when he was all done, I asked him, I said, do you know what you think it is? And he said, looked over at Sidney, and he said, do you want me to tell her? And Sidney said, sure, go ahead. Well, when he told us, he said, I think you have ALS, which he was sitting on a table and I was on a chair, and we both could have fell off because we had known a person from Penfield, Evans, that had ALS, and so we knew a little bit about the diagnosis. And when we left that day, we didn't know if we had 5 hours, 5 months, or 5 days. There was no hope, because we knew what is ahead of us. So we just went down the road, maybe 5 minutes, stopped in the parking lot, and we both had a good cry. And said, we both discussed it, that we would go home and call our daughters, and they would be the first ones to know what was going on in our life. So we went home and we made the phone call, and Abby, our granddaughter, was in university, so we let her know too. And so we had to deal with it for a little while. It wasn't something that you could emotionally go out and talk about, because we cried a lot. And so it took us about 2 months, and every Sunday we would go to church and we would both cry. So our pastor knew something was up. He knew that Sid was limping, and that he said he knew something was up, but we just couldn't talk about it. But once we were able to accept it, and then we started to tell a few people what was going on in our life. And it's not easy for anybody to start talking about it, but God has been good to us. And so that's our journey. And then we went back and got a diagnosis. Sidney had an MRI on September 17th, and it took 1 hour and 45 minutes. And it was a long time to be in there. He said you'd never do that again. It was a lot.
How did you, when you both came in today, I can't remember the last time I met such positive people. How did you turn that around for yourselves and look at it from a blessed light? The way you brought your story to us today is so meaningful to want to share with others, and your positivity is infectious.
Well, Sidney says that he's not staying home and staying inside the house and waiting to die, because it's inevitable for all of us at some point in our life we're going to pass on. So our philosophy is that we're going to get out and enjoy life as much as we can, and stay in the community and let people know that this disease doesn't have to define you to just hide, because he's still the same person. He might not be able to talk like he used to talk, but I don't have any trouble understanding him, and he still keeps me in line. So yeah, we just take the positive things and enjoy each other.
Tell us a little bit about how it's changed your daily routines, and what exactly, for people who, I know a lot of people became familiar with ALS when the Ice Bucket Challenge started about 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But what exactly is it, and how did it start to change your daily routines?
Well, right off the bat, Sid was very acceptance of this disease, and he would do anything that he could to help himself so that he could stay walking. He accepted a walker. Instead of falling, he took the walker. And then we searched for a little chair, because he can still walk in the house, but he can't walk outside because he can't lift his feet. He scuffs in the house, and so we got this little fold-up chair, and we put it in we can fold it up and put it in our SUV and go places. But if you don't take the things that people recommend to you, then like you're gonna go behind. Mm-hmm. And Sid was extramural came in and said, Sidney, you need to do this, and do this. And then we go to Stan Cassidy, and they said, Sid, if you do this and do this and do this, your life will be better. So if in this disease, if you take falls, it can make things progress faster. So Sidney is always willing to do the things that protect him and let him enjoy the day.
And you brought some as examples of things that you still use today. Tell us a little bit about what things like this apparatus is, as well as this here.
Okay, so this boot is that he puts on. You're supposed to wear them at night to keep your muscles stretched in the back of your leg and keep your feet straight so that your toes don't curl under. He finds it uncomfortable at night, so he tries to wear them during the day. If he's watching some TV or something, put them on an hour here or half an hour there, just to do that, to use that. And this is a mitt that he puts his hands in, goes in, and it keeps your fingers straight, because with ALS your fingers can curl under. Okay. And so he puts the mitt on and tries to keep his fingers straight. And also they've told him to, you know, stretch his fingers, like he puts his fingers down and stretches them. And
this here, I think it's for...
This is a grabber, and Sid plays ball with his dog, and that's how he plays ball with the dog. He throws the ball with this for the dog. So that's, Tess doesn't know any different. That's always how Sid's done this.
What have been some of the biggest physical challenges? I know that Sid was saying that he's now writing with his left hand. He's right-handed, but he's learning to overcome certain obstacles, very active online.
Yeah.
But what have been the biggest challenges so far?
I think his biggest challenge is not being able to do the things that he always was able to do. He said his biggest challenge is not to be able to ride his motorcycle anymore. He had a big heart for his motorcycle, and so he said of anything that this disease has taken from him that bothers him, it's riding his motorcycle. But we've kind of overcome that. He's got a scooter, so we just go on the scooter now, and that's where his hair blows in his scooter.
And Karen, you were saying too, when Sid, and he goes alone on his scooter, and this is something that he would wear in case of an emergency.
So this is a good thing. You know, if you're out and about, and your partner or your friend or your children are away from you and something happened. So it says, "Hi, my name is Sidney Kernighan. I have ALS, also known as Lou Gehrig's disease. He was diagnosed in 2019. It's on it." And then the information is my name's there, his daughters, Kara Hatt and Debbie Walsh are there. And then the phone numbers for his doctor, his Medicare number, his prescriptions that he takes is all there. And then it says, "I may slur my words or not be able to speak, but understand what you are saying. Speak to me in a normal voice and allow me the time to communicate." So it just gives them the information, tells about don't lay him flat on his back because it's difficult for him to breathe, because his CO2 could build up. So that's where he has a BiPAP machine. At night he wears his BiPAP machine. And the BiPAP machine will save his diaphragm because it helps him breathe. So
does it ever feel, because Sid can understand everything that's happening and yet can feel limited physically, how much of a struggle is that in the journey? It must feel incredibly challenging at times when you want to communicate and you know everything that's going on. What's that been like for him?
I'm pretty good. What we find is with this disease, Sidney's still able to talk, but if I miss something, I have learned to repeat back to him what I understood he said, and then he just has to give me the 1 or 2 words that I've missed, because it's a big effort for him to be able to talk. And so, you know, I listen to what he has to say, and if I miss something, I just say, "I heard this," and he'll give me the word that I missed.
And yet, you took the time to come here today to share your story. I think that's so beautiful, inspiring, and important. Why was that so important for you to share your story with everyone at home?
Sidney wants to help people. He's always been that type of person. He wants to help people. Don't let this disease put you in a situation that you become so depressed that you give up. Your attitude will take you a long ways. Even though they tell you you have a few months to a few years, that's not all cases. Every case of ALS is different. Mm-hmm. Some people can pass within a year. Some people can pass within a few months. But Sid's going on 6 years from diagnosis.
And you mentioned before we started filming too, likely could have been 2018 when you were riding your motorcycle. That's when you first felt maybe in your fingers.
Yeah.
What was that sensation?
tingling, wasn't it, Sidney? They would cramp up on him. Yeah. He would swing his arm, take it off the gas, and just swing it for a minute, and then, you know, continue on. But
before we started filming, you mentioned it's about 30 New Brunswickers every year diagnosed with ALS. It's about 3 to 4 people in every 100,000 that will get ALS.
Yeah.
What kind of support groups or support networks do you rely on? Maybe not just in New Brunswick, but perhaps online as well.
The first support group that we had was Extramural come into our home. And I can't give enough praise to Extramural. Julie comes every week and does physiotherapy with Sidney. They have a respiratory therapist there. We have a nurse there. We have a dietitian. They're just amazing, the Extramural. And then we go to Stay in Cassidy. Generally, it's every 3 months, but over the winter months, we kind of skip and go about 6 months because I don't want to drive to Fredericton in the winter. And they have a whole team there too, and they deal with it daily. So they see many cases. And Dr. O'Connell is the doctor that Sidney sees, and she's very knowledgeable and very caring and compassionate. And who else is there? The ALS Society. I mean, the average person with ALS needs $80,000 worth of equipment in your home. Between your wheelchair, your hospital bed, your BiPAP machine, your suction machine, your cough assist is $80,000. And we don't have $80,000. And so they provide all those things for people. Wonderful. Not just Sidney and I, but it's New Brunswick and Nova Scotia ALS, and they're excellent too.
For everyone who's learning more about ALS at home, who wants to be a part of contributing to more knowledge and also more financial supports for people living with it, there are some walks coming up. So I'm happy that you're here a few months before they start. There's one June, I'm going to get the dates right, June 4th. This is in St. George.
It is.
5 p.m. starting at the credit union. 2 groups are registered already. One's Wanda's Warriors, but I think one is also Sid's group.
Sid's All-Stars. The Wanda's Warriors is Wanda McLean from Penfield. She worked at the credit union in St. George, and the girls and the staff decided that they do a walk last year in St. George. And so Sidney and I had always participated in St. John, but where it's in our own community, they asked us if we would join. And so we joined, and it's really nice to have it in our community. And so they're organizing the second ALS walk, and we're going to participate. And there's 3 people in the community. The other lady's name is Deanna, and she's from Back Bay. And so there's 3 of us that we know of in the community. And so, yeah, we're hoping that other people will join us. Maybe somebody that has ALS now, but not only that, but in remembrance of people that had ALS, come out and remember and support.
We will. I'm going to put it on our CHCO calendar right after this to make sure that we come along too, and we'll participate in the walk as well. There's also one in St. John, and that's June 8th at Brunswick Square. We'll get the dates of that on TV as well. You mentioned the community that you have, your church in St. George as well, being very supportive. How has the community been in terms of embracing what you're going through and being a support, our Charlotte County community?
Well, you know what Charlotte County's like. Everybody comes alongside of everybody. And Sid's a longtime resident of St. George, born and raised there, and I could only sing praises for the people in the community. I'm sure we kind of struggle with asking for help, but if we needed anything, we know that everybody's there. Even the simple little things, you know, we notice now, like to put up a clothesline. Sid always could do those things, so you have to ask for that. Or, you know, if you needed a board replaced in my deck, I have to ask for that. Sid always did all that stuff, so it's different for us to have to ask.
How's it changed your perspective on life? You said you still feel so blessed.
Yeah, we do. We're still together. We might not be able to do the things that, you know, get on the bike and ride the bike and maybe travel like any distance or anything like that, because he gets cramped up and things like that. But just to have the pleasure of being together and sitting on our back deck to have a coffee together, what more could you ask for?
If someone's watching the show, maybe it's a new diagnosis for them, maybe a family member, what would your best advice be to a family who's just starting out on this journey and might feel overwhelmed?
As soon as you can accept it, reach out and get the help. Just reach out and reach out to Sid on Facebook if you can. Sid's not embarrassed to share a story, and he wants to help people. And so take all the help you can. Don't get down on yourself and think that you can't do anything, because as long as you're able to be there with your family and your friends and share time together, that's important. It's not about being able to go out and outside and cut up wood or, you know, there's ways to enjoy what God has given us. Get in a wheelchair and go for a walk. You don't necessarily have to be walking, but you can enjoy things just by using these chairs, and
I'm also very active on Facebook, so Sid, I'm going to hit up your page right after this, because I feel like I could use your positivity in my life. But tell us a little bit about that, and how social media and Sid on Facebook has helped your journey, kept you connected to other people, and also allowed Sid to be an inspiration and a guiding light to other individuals or families who might be going through this. He showed me his typing hand.
Well, his just being able to use his tablet and communicate with people. People seem to shy away from people that have a disability, not just Sidney, but any disability people. And you know, he might not be able to answer all your questions if I'm not right there, but I'm usually right there by his side so that I can say what he needs, what he wants me to say. But with this disease, you might lose your ability to walk and talk and you know, use your hands and things. But he's as smart as a whip. His brain is the same as it always was. Like, people don't understand the disease because they will come up and say, "Do you know who I am?" Right. I think the most important thing about ALS is just do a little research on it and realize that you know, you might be disabled in some ways, but you're still the same person.
And it can be confused. That would be one of the bigger misconceptions, is maybe confusing it with dementia. Or...
Yeah, right. Yeah, but no, Sidney's, he knows what's going on.
If there's a message, one message you could get across to people at home today, what would you want people to take away from hearing your story, Karen, and Sid's story together? I think it's just as important, your side as well.
Just don't give up. Just don't take the diagnosis that you're going to die today. You're not going to necessarily die in a month or 6 months or a year. Our journey is 6 years, and he's still doing very well. and just accept it, but stay positive. That's my thing.
Well, I thank you both so much for coming in today, for sharing your journey, and please feel free to come back anytime. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Now, I have one little thing for you. Sidney's been following Facebook, and he's got quite a sense of humor, Sid does. So this morning he says to me, he says...
I think I know.
he says, Karen, we need to get a gas card for Vicki. And I said, Vicki? Who? Who's Vicki? He said, take Vicki a gas card so that on her travels that she won't run out of gas. So here's a card from Sid for you.
As I mentioned, I'm very active on Facebook, Sid, and I posted because my husband, who's behind the camera right now,
Right.
Has run out of gas 5 times in the last 5 years. Twice in the same spot in Brockway, and this week was one. So I publicly shame him on Facebook in hopes that it won't happen again. It will, and people are looking out for me too. Thank you so much. That means the world.
So that is his personality. He hasn't
You would be
changed.
my new best friend on Facebook. Thank you so much for my gas card, my safety network,
Okay.
and for sharing your story, your light, your positivity as well. I think that it means so much to hear people, whether you relate to the ALS journey or not, we all go through hard times in life, and to have the attitude that you have and also the openness you have really has the power to change lives. So thank you.
I love this man. I met him when I was 14. And so I think we can get through anything.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
My guests today have been Sidney and Karen Kernighan, sharing their story of Sidney's diagnosis and journey with ALS. I'm Vicki Hogarth. Thank you for watching Southwest Magazine.
Southwest Magazine is a news and public affairs production of CHCO Television.